Joining us right now to talk about the state of investing, trading, and his outlook for 2026 is Rick Wurster. He is Charles Schwab president and CEO. He's been on that job for just over a year at this point, and the stock, if you want to check it out over that period, is up by just over 40% during that time, pretty sharply outperforming the S&P 500.
Is that all?
Yeah, take a look at the stock. There you go. Not bad, Rick.
It's a good start. It's a good start.
That's what you
totally because of your efforts.
I think it was the 50 years of focusing on clients before I shored up in the role that to led us to that.
And Carl.
Carl's helpful. People remember Carl.
Carl is helpful.
Yeah. The advertising, Carl. Let's talk a little bit about what you are doing, though, because I think this is more than just a bull market. The S&P up 17% over that same period of time. I've been impressed by the numbers you've put up just in terms of the new accounts that you're opening. I think it's about 1 million accounts a quarter at this point, about 4 million for last year. And that brings you to, what, 46 million? So that's a pretty impressive increase in the number of clients coming in.
Yeah, we've been growing new clients quite a bit. And what's been so exciting about it is we're really winning with the young client. And we're seeing that younger investors, Gen Z investors, are 46% more likely to invest before they're 21 than the generation before them. And we're winning with the young investor because they don't want trade-offs. They want research, they want education, they want coaching, and they want a winning platform. And so they come to Schwab. And that's been an exciting part of our growth. We've also been deepening relationships. We've been doing more to help clients with their wealth, with their lending needs. And that's been a nice part of our growth as well.
Having younger clients is a big deal. I think the age has come down. The average age of your client is down 10 years over the last 10 to 15 years. That makes them a more valuable client because hopefully you can hold on to them for a longer lifetime. Is that part of the goal here?
Well, I think for us, our mission as a company is to make a difference in our clients' financial lives. The earlier people come to Schwab, the more we can do to help them, guide them, to buy their first house, to pay off their student debt, and then ultimately to be able to retire and afford their lifestyle in retirement.
You guys are doing a lot on social media to win some of these new clients. What else are you doing?
We are on social media. We're the most followed financial services firm on YouTube. We're on TikTok and Instagram, and we do all kinds of these creative things that like we do Get Ready With Me videos with influencers where they're talking about the power of compounding while doing their hair. Apparently that's a winner on social media. We play games on Twitch with some of the big gamers and talk about the power of getting invested early. So we're on social media trying to attract clients to the idea of investing for life, and the power of compounding, the power of getting into equities and watching them compound over the long run.
And yet, when people think of younger investors, they probably tend to think of Robinhood because Robinhood is doing new and different things to try and win in some of those younger investors. I don't think you agree with everything that's being offered on the Robinhood platform versus what you all are doing.
I think the challenge I have is that we don't like anything that conflates investing with gambling. Gambling is a form of entertainment. You all were just talking about the Super Bowl. Have at it. If you want to bet on the Super Bowl, that's great. But you shouldn't look to gambling as a way of growing your wealth. In fact, you should look for it to decrease your wealth. Less than 5% of people that go on gambling apps take out more money than they put in. When you go on an investing app like ours and you stick with it, you grow your wealth over time. And those two things we view as very different. And so to target young people and to treat those somewhat similarly, we view as not helpful to the young generation of investors.
I'm kind of with you, but that makes you sound kind of stodgy, too.
Well, what's not stodgy is working with young people on how to save, how to pay off their student debt, how to buy their first house. I think that we have what the young investor wants, which is why we're winning that generation.
Let me ask you a different question. Do you think that the SEC should put more guardrails on the system? Either guardrails in terms of rules or guidance or other things. This goes to the extent you have a perspective on sort of what investing should look like compared to maybe what Robinhood does.
Well, I think, the SEC could certainly play a role. And by the way, the SEC under the new administration has been fantastic. And I'll talk a little bit about, we used to go to the SEC for 2 years and talk about some of these pump and dump stocks and the manipulation that was happening in markets, and nothing was getting done. We went to this SEC, and a week later they had investigated the issue, shut the company down, and the company had left their headquarters in Hong Kong. And we're starting to clean that kind of stuff up. So I think the SEC is focused on the right issues.
Rick, would you say you don't want any meme stock people at all as clients?
No, I think meme stocks, listen, we want people to get invested. But I draw a distinction between a 10-game parlay that, is front and center when you log on to your brokerage and a meme stock. At least you're investing in a stock in that case. I don't want to sound stuck.
You're not doing anything in prediction markets yet.
I think, when we think about prediction markets, we're not doing anything today. I break prediction markets down into 3 parts. I think there's 2 that we would do. The first is the odds of an event and what's going to happen in that event. I think there's value in that. To know who's favored to win the election, what's the employment report. There's good information in there that we would want our clients, and particularly our trading-oriented clients, to be able to see. The second thing is betting on or taking a position on financial events. You could make an argument about that's related to your investment portfolio. You could hedge, you could accentuate a position. The third part, and what makes up 90 to 95% of the volume today, is the sports gambling. And that's counter to our mission of trying to help our clients live their best financial life.
What about these hour-long options or whatever?
The
zero-dated options.
Are you're saying no, we won't do those?
Well, we do those. Again, we've got a lot of very active traders.
So you let people, you give them enough rope.
We have very active traders that take a very thoughtful approach to how to trade zero-dated options.
You don't want to be a nanny.
No, we are for everybody, every investor of every stripe that wants to invest on our platform. That's great. We draw the line at sports gambling. But outside of that, we want people to come, be active, be engaged, be invested. Ultimately, we want what's best for the client.